Hi, welcome back if you're new here. Hi, I'm Liv. I am a Colorado makeup artist and I love everything related to makeup and beauty. My job is to make you feel as beautiful on the outside as you are on the inside. I love discussing makeup, trying new products, and sharing all of the tips and tricks that I have learned throughout my own journey. Today's video, we are going to be talking about all of the products that did not interest me in 2022. Along with the few products that I really just didn't enjoy. I don't have enough products to make like a whole dislikes video of 2022. So I'm just going to add it into this video of all of the releases that just didn't interest me this year. I'm not trying to be negative, but I think it's fair to share that not every single beauty release is interesting, and it doesn't have to be. Before we get started, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me, and we'll get going. So I just have a list of all of the releases and the few products that I didn't like over the year here on my phone. So if I'm looking down, just bear with me. It's kind of hard to read and then like look up and remember what I read. But I recently posted my favorites video of 2022. So if you haven't checked that out, I will link it up in the cards for you. And we're going to start this video by going through the dislikes of 2022 because I only have a few products. I didn't feel like it was worth a super short video, whereas I had this video planned already that I just decided to tack them on to this video. So let's jump in. The first one is foundation. It is the L'Oreal True Skin Hyaluronic Acid Serum Foundation. This foundation got a lot of hype. I'm kind of thinking like in the summertime. It might have been a little closer to spring. I'm not exactly sure. But I ended up purchasing it. I went to Walmart and I got it. And it just did something weird to my face. Like it clung to weird spots on my face. And I could never get an even application for it. And it didn't wear well with my concealers or my powders. Everything that got layered on top of it just didn't look like it normally looks either. So that was just a big no for me. If it doesn't apply evenly and then it makes all my other favorite products not look good, it's not going to last in my collection. Another foundation I really didn't enjoy is from Givenchy. It is the Prisme Libre Matte Foundation. And this one had a similar pattern where it just didn't lay evenly. It ended up clinging to different patches, even though I do have a more like normal to oily skin type. So there weren't a whole lot of dry patches for things to cling to. It just like pooled in different areas on my face and I just couldn't get the even application. And it made me really sad because obviously Givenchy is a pricier brand. And although I did purchase that one in the Sephora spring sale this year, it did not get used to its fullest potential because I couldn't get it to just lay evenly. In my opinion, if you can't get the product to work within a few tries, it's not worth fighting with. So that is another foundation I did not like. I tried one powder and it is from Makeup Forever, which is crazy because I ended up liking two of their foundations this year. But the powder is the Ultra HD Matte Setting Powder. And I don't know if it was maybe me, but I used it for about a month. And every single time by the end of the day, I would look at myself to see where things were at. And my under eyes just looked dry and cakey and cracked. And I looked tired. Like it physically made me look tired, more tired than I was. And that is not a powder that I would want to wear. So I quickly discarded that one. Okay, this opinion might get a little bit of flashback. It's an unpopular opinion. I am not a fan of the Danessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Flakes. They burned my eyes. I did a whole video testing out Danessa Myricks products in general, and my eyes were burning by the time I finished it. So I quickly had to wipe off the eyes just because I can't do that. That's not healthy and it's not safe. If these flakes work for you, by all means continue to use them. Heck, if any of these products that I'm saying I don't like work for you and you like them a lot, please continue to use them. That's the important part in makeup, is that something might not work for me, but it works for you. And all I can ask is, like, don't stop using your favorite products because someone else doesn't like them. I can't use them because they burn my eyes. But if they're not burning yours and you're enjoying them, use them. And the last product that I did not like of 2022 is a mascara. It's also from Makeup Forever, the Professional 24-Hour Dual-Ended Mascara. This mascara is actually pretty new, I believe. It's double-ended, so one side is for lifting and one side is for volumizing. And I only have it in my dislikes because I don't like the lifting side. The voluming side is okay. It does flake a little bit, so it's not the greatest either, but the lifting side, I think is just black pigment. It doesn't really do anything. I feel like it doesn't do anything. Even layering the lifting and then the volumizing in, I feel like it doesn't do a whole lot. So that's a no for me. That mascara is just not one that I'm going to be reaching for. Again, if any of these products work for you, please continue to use them. Just because they don't work for me doesn't mean they're actually bad. So now let's talk about 2022 beauty releases in general. Because new makeup is being released every single week. And there are tons and tons of videos. I know Samantha March has a series called Will I Buy It? And she used to post every single Wednesday, like Will I Buy It Wednesdays, and all the new makeup releases for the next week. And I know many creators have taken that idea and have done their own twist to it. So there's a lot of new makeup, especially since people can do that kind of video weekly. There's a lot of new makeup coming out. And the purpose of this video is, one, to share the releases that I didn't particularly find interesting enough to buy, but also to let you know it's okay if there's a bunch of releases that come out weekly and you don't like any of them. It's okay that all of these releases might get reviewed here on YouTube and you're just not interested in watching those reviews because you're not interested in that product. And that's okay. Everyone is different, and I don't want anyone to feel like there's so much makeup and you have to keep up with all of it. I know it is not my goal to buy makeup every single week. It's my goal to buy the makeup that really inspires me and interests me and helps my community here on my channel. But if it doesn't do any of those things, I'm not going to touch it. So if you're out there and you're like, man, it's really hard to keep up with all of these releases and I just want somebody to just share that, hey, they didn't like a lot of things this year, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to tell you all the things I did not like because they didn't serve me any sort of purpose. There was no interest, there was no purpose for them, and it didn't serve me in any sort of way to purchase them. And on the bright side, because I didn't purchase them, I saved money. So let's begin with Jaclyn Cosmetics. She released the Skin Perfecting Blurring Tint and Faux Filter Perfecting Concealer. Personally, I am a fan of Jaclyn Cosmetics. I have quite a few products from her that I do really enjoy. However, my opinion of Jaclyn is not a skin tint or a blurring tint. From what I have watched, and I do follow her on Instagram and TikTok, she typically seems to be wearing like a fuller foundation, a fuller coverage foundation. So it really surprised me that she went for a tinted coverage type of foundation. From reviews that I saw, the concealer was the full coverage part. So maybe she liked the skin tint so she could conceal more. Either way, it just didn't spark me as something I really needed in my collection. I don't typically reach for tinted foundations either. I'll either go for a tinted sunscreen or I tend to go for like a medium fuller coverage type of product. So one, that wasn't in my alley, and two, the concealer I heard good and bad reviews about, but overall it just wasn't something that I particularly needed at that point of time. I have been obsessed with the Jouer Essential Concealer for probably a year and a half now, and I was still fully obsessed with it when that product released from Jaclyn, and I was like, nah, I'm good. That is not gonna overpower my Jouer concealer. Next up is the Pat McGrath Bridgerton collection, and she actually released 2 Bridgerton collections. And they were 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. Pat McGrath is very expensive to begin with, and I think it was like $58 or something for 6 shades. And to me, the first collection, I think 4 shades were reddish, and then there was like a blue shade and maybe a purple shade. And it didn't speak Bridgerton to me. The packaging, yes, beautiful packaging. But was it worth the price? And for shades that really didn't remind me of Bridgerton, no. So I passed on both of those. And then I ended up seeing reviews too that the red shades ended up causing a lot of eye irritation for a few YouTubers too. So then I was very glad that I passed on that collection. This is a good one, similar to Jaclyn. The KVD Good Apple Concealer was released this year. The foundation was released in 2021, which got so much hype. It went viral really quickly. And I never tried it, and the reviews that I saw on it were not for my skin tone, or my skin type, for normal, leaning, oily skin type. That's not what that foundation is for. So when the concealer released, I was like, man, I don't have the foundation. Why would I get the concealer? And then I never even saw any reviews on the concealer. Apparently that product was not as popular as the foundation, so that one just kind of flew on by. In the springtime, a lot of foundations were releasing one right after another, and the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Medium Coverage Liquid Foundation, that's a mouthful, released. And I had my eyes set on the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, so the Charlotte Tilbury one just went right over my head. And I ended up seeing reviews that it was not meant for oily skin either. It was definitely meant for more drier skin tones. I was like, well, I'm pretty set on the NARS one, so I think I'm just gonna let this one go. And I haven't thought about it twice, honestly. I still don't need that foundation in my collection. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know I am actually a pretty big fan of Rare Beauty, but they released the Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. And it released, and I was like, I don't think that's for me. Of all of the Rare Beauty things that Selena Gomez has released, I immediately saw that one. I was like, nah, I'm good. But everything else, it is add to cart or add to the favorites list, so eventually I can purchase it, but not that one. And then I did end up seeing some reviews that it was not anything that I needed anyways. Again, because I do typically either go for a tinted sunscreen or medium to fuller coverage bases. This was not either of those. So I'm okay that that one Rare Beauty product is not in my collection. This might cause a little upstart as well. Gwen Stafani released a brand called Give. I'm not interested in it at all, just in general. I do actually like Gwen Stafani. I like some of her music. I like watching her on The Voice. And I really adore her platinum blonde hair with her bright red lip. I think she's stunning. But her brand in general just doesn't speak to me. And I don't wear a red lip all that often. And I know she started to come out with some more nude tones for lip colors. But this brand is just not going to be for me. And I'm okay with that. I can still support Gwen Stafani in other ways aside from her beauty brand. Natasha Denona released her My Dream collection. So that was a eyeshadow palette, a face palette, and a lip kit. Like a lip trio of some sort. I'm actually a really big fan of the Natasha Denona eyeshadow formulas. I have most of her palettes. But as I was looking at it, it looked very similar to a mixture of like the retro palette she released last fall and kind of some more neutrally tones. And I was like, well, between like the glam palette and the retro palette, I kind of have all of those shades. So I don't think I need that one. I also have this one, which is the Glam Face palette, which includes a blush and a highlight. I just didn't need those products because I already had them in some sort of other way by Natasha Denona. And I don't particularly enjoy her lip products to begin with. I have one lip liner and one lipstick from her, and they're not something that I reach for all the time. So I was like, I just don't need that collection whatsoever. I hope other people enjoy it. I saw a lot of good reviews on it, but it wasn't for me. And I didn't want to spend the money on Natasha Denona products when I already had Natasha Denona products that would essentially give me what she was releasing. Okay, so along with foundations in the spring, a lot of cream bronzers were being released towards the beginning of summer, like end of spring, beginning of summer. And Makeup by Mario released two products. One is the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, and then the SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. One is a cream bronzer, and one is like a powder bronzer mixed with a highlighter. And you're supposed to use that one to set the cream bronzer. And no matter how many reviews I watched on it, and no matter how many times people were like, just get the cream bronzer, don't get the powder portion of it, or just get the powder, don't get the cream bronzer. Like, neither of them made sense to me. As a release sort of package deal, neither of them made sense to me. So I was like, you know, I think I'm just gonna go get the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Cream Bronzer, which I actually put in my favorites video for this year, and just like skip over Mario because I don't understand those products. They're not putting 2 and 2 together for me. In general, I realize one is just a cream bronzer and one is just a setting bronzer highlight mix. But it just, the way it was released and promoted and explained, it just, like, it wasn't adding up for me. So I just like skipped it. And I'm sorry to say, but another Danessa Myricks product did not make the list for me. And this is the Lightwork Volume 4 Transcendent Palette Illuminating Eye and Face Pigments. Now that's a mouthful. Basically, it was an eyeshadow palette, and then the center had like 4 really large pans for like highlights, I believe. I know I saw a lot of reviews from Rose and Ben Beauty. She did a lot of tutorials with that. I know she worked closely with Danessa Myricks, but after my review on the Chrome Flakes, I was like, I don't want any sort of eyeshadow from Danessa Myricks. So I'm glad you like it, Rose. Continue to use it, but I'm just gonna blow over that one. Alrighty, so this is my video of negativity, and I do apologize. I just felt like it was okay to share that there was a good chunk of releases that just had no impact for me. And if they had no impact for you, I support that. If they had impact for you, if you liked any of these products or any of these releases and you bought them and you're loving them, that's amazing. Continue to love them and use them. That was not, my purpose is not to defer you from using some favorite products or make you feel bad for buying releases that just didn't interest me. Please do you. I want you to be your most natural, beautiful, and happy self when it comes to makeup. But these are things that just didn't speak to me, and I just wanted to share them because if they also didn't speak to you, that's okay. And I want you to know that's okay. If there are other releases that happened in 2022 that you just want to share with me that you didn't like, or maybe you did really like, feel free to leave me a comment below. They might be products I need to check out. You never know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so very much. Don't forget to ring the bell and hit all on your notifications. You'll be notified every time I post a video. I am here twice a week, and I can't wait to see you next time. So in the meantime, be natural, be beautiful, and be you.